Guys, I really wish I could do live reactions because this chapter was fire. I don't even know how to further hype this up. Like, it was just perfect. Absolute gas. Like, talk about peak fiction. This is it. So we start off with more Annie talk, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought we was gonna get a lot more, but we only got this little bit. So Traum talks about Annie as she was the most talented princess, but she got sealed because she couldn't control herself. What a way to put that. But this is full confirmation that Annie got sealed because of her ways against Zahard. Because we know that princesses of Zahard kill each other, and Annie was particularly very good at it. However, it's clear from Traum's response, she got sealed because what she knew and she may have been spreading. Because he goes on to say, she found out some information that was better off forgotten. But it's like with anything, that's just like if we found out that aliens existed for real today. Like, who's gonna forget that? You can't. But what's this information though? Like, is it the Arlene and V information? Or is there more that she knows? But as we already know, whatever she knew, it got her locked up. This is a very interesting line. Traum goes on to say that Zahard already got his punishment for that, and we end up hurting each other equally. I want to know you guys' interpretation on that, because I don't know what to make of that. Like, what punishment can Zahard suffer? Zahard has no direct children. What could punish him? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that means when Traum says that. But he goes on to say that there was an agreement made by all the family heads after the Annie incident. And it's basically that we've all become so powerful that we should focus on not offending each other. That's the basic way to translate this. Meaning that if our kids do anything, if anybody associated with us from the tower, if anybody does anything, it doesn't matter. As long as we don't affect each other, who cares? But what does that mean for the kids that were born before this incident? Like, are those the ones that are actually treasured? Like, for instance, if Tiara was born before the Annie Zahard incident, does Gustang treasure Tiara more? But imagine that from the child's perspective, right? So imagine that you're Traum's son. Your father basically becomes like colder to you. Like, you can completely understand the plight of the revolutionaries. You guys basically sit on your kingdom and on your thrones, and you don't necessarily care about anything that happens to us. Now, granted, they have thousands and thousands of heirs, right? Like, the blood is so mixed in turmoil and all that. But for you not to care at all is kind of crazy. If you're a child, from a child's perspective, if you've never gotten love from a figure that basically runs your life, you're going to naturally want to revolt. But that's exactly how the balance of power has became what it is in the tower currently, is that each family head basically does not offend each other. But I mean, what that causes for the actual children is still crazy. Like, look at the Coon family. Like, they absolutely just slaughter and get rid of anybody who isn't strong enough. And Traum goes on to say that Gustang, you were cool with this. And then Gustang goes on to say, yeah, I was cool with this. To translate, it got irritating. It's like if you're standing in line waiting for your food and somebody's popping gum, irritating you to the point where you can't take it anymore and you have to ask them to stop. That's basically what Gustang's saying. Like, you guys are just purposely looking over each other's flaws, or any little issue that happens, you guys are looking over it because you don't want to step on each other's toes. Like, seriously, just thinking about that from a real life perspective, what kind of way is that to live? That kind of relates to the current climate, how the world is. It's like people are so afraid to offend each other. But listen to what Gustang says though. He says that we have no meaning in the tower. Wow. Like, what a take that is. You have to agree with Gustang, because think about it. I want everybody who's listening right now to this YouTube video to think about family heads. What do you think of? Powerful figure. That's it. Powerful figure. That's it. Nothing else. There's no adventure. There's no climbing the tower. All you know that there are powerful figures. What kind of way is that to live your life? There's nothing happening in their lives. Like, they're honestly just multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, and the tower has almost infinite space. So it's just like, but what kind of existence is that? You're living forever in a system where nothing's happening. You know, you can't climb the tower anymore because it's hard, and you can't die. So it's just like, yeah, I'm with Gustang here. Like, we don't do anything. And based on what we know, we barely know if the family has even talked to each other. Traum even forgot that he had Gustang's contact. Understand the passion behind Gustang's story when he says this, because he's attacking Traum at the same time. I think Siu did that to evoke emotion, because he actually meant that. Like, his life is probably garbage. Then he goes on to bring up the fact that we've all basically discarded memories that we don't want. That makes this even tougher. They are just basically robots. They can take out and remove and place memories wherever they want. They can't die, so they're robots. It's just like, bro, that's such a garbage life. Like, what is there to do? You gotta feel for Gustang here. You gotta understand his point. And I must say, he's slowly climbing up into my top 5 favorite characters. By the way, if you guys want to know what my top 5 favorite characters are, I can do a video on that. Just, leave it down in the comment section below. If I get at least 10, 15 people that say they want to see it, I'll do it. But seriously, they're discarding memories. So what does this all go back to? This all goes back to the fact that they can't climb the tower anymore, and they don't want to step on each other's toes while they live. But there's got to be something more than that, right? Because it's just like, me, my theory has always been, and by the way, for those of us who share the same theory, which is Zahar somehow changed the memories of all the current family heads to not only get rid of Arlene and V, but to control everything and basically make himself the king. We kind of eating good right now, because it's looking quite strong that is a very strong possibility. And imagine that. Imagine if that is the actual theory, that Zahar somehow was able to manipulate all the family heads' memories into turning on Arlene and V, basically making himself the most powerful and controlling everything. This would make him a demon. Like, the antagonism, that's a word, for Zahar is just growing. And just seeing how Gustang feels about it is just absolutely tormenting. It just makes Zahar's whole backstory, like, y'all see the darkness behind me? That is Zahar. Like, that is his hype being built for me. You telling me for thousands of years, none of you have questioned why things are the way they are? Besides Gustang? Like, y'all just cool with y'all existence? I mean, Blossom just sleeping all day every day? But Gustang says all this to say that he needs to know, because apparently they've discarded the memories and they've forgotten, and that he's following a prophecy. So I wonder what this prophecy exactly was, but there's been basically a revelation about Bomb and Rachel. But look here. Gustang is aiming to kill. Bruh. What have I been saying for the last few chapter reviews? Gustang is aiming to kill. And he goes on to tell Traum everything must come to an end. And he's just like, I've been saying this. Like, somebody's gotta die. And I knew that at the chess match itself, that Gustang would be aiming to kill Traum. But wait a goddamn minute. What else have I been mentioning? The bracelet of Zahar. We get to see it for the first time since it arrived. The goddamn Apple Watch of Zahar. But I literally said it in my prediction stream this past Thursday. I said that Gustang is going to end up giving that bracelet to Bomb. And look what he says. He's going to leave it in the hands of the insects. He started to figure out things about it. It has the power to stop all the family heads. The hype is crazy, and my predictions have been going well. Like, I can't believe he actually pulled it out. I'm surprised that Traum didn't actually try to attack it or anything. Again, going back, Gustang confirms that he may attempt to kill Traum, but hold the fucking bus. This entire time, I've been under the interpretation that Gustang knew everything. He's aware of the Arlene and V situation. He remembers it all. He doesn't. So I know last week I was giving Gustang really, really cool points for being like a good father. It turns out this is all for knowledge. Classic Gustang, this is all for knowledge. It's not necessarily about any. However, this missing memory, is this the book that Yaracha and Yama are going to get? If Gustang's memories are missing, then maybe he forgot about this book and where it is. But how long has Hugo been out there? Like, how long has that book and that ship been out there? Like, there's no way that Gustang could possibly forget where all his people are. Like, that part doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know if that book in that ship is the book that Gustang is missing. If that is the book, who disclosed this information to Robodon? Because this book would be a literal memory in Gustang's mind. It's literally something close to him. So only somebody upper in his tiers, meaning one of his children, could know. And who else would it be? Belier. I know it's every week with this guy, but it's got to be one of his closest children to know this information. That Gustang hid one of his key memories in a ship somewhere. But holy shit, last week I said I couldn't see there being any information or any book that would stop this war. I was wrong. Based on what Gustang is saying, he needs to know, and he's willing to do anything to know. So this book, if this is the book, Gustang's still going to make the choice to kill them. Gustang goes all in to say to Traum that for now, be patient, you're spared. Now this is where Traum turns up. Basically, who the fuck are you talking to? You're gonna tell me I gotta meet you somewhere at the time that you want me to meet you there, and that you may or may not kill me. Why would I let you do that? This is why you got dumped. Burn. Legendary burn. And Traum's logic is absolutely sound. Because, bro, you just told me you might kill me. Why won't I fight you right now? Regardless if this goes anywhere, I'm gonna weaken you. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, because ain't no way you gonna tell me you might murder me, bro. Like, what are we talking about? And it appears they're about to fight. We're about to see the All Beast, but Gustang locks Traum in this maze, and it appears that this maze has been something they've dealt with since they were kids. Mind you, this panel of them as kids is absolutely hilarious, because this is exactly how I pictured Traum as a kid. Like, black hoodie, green hair. He's basically kind of a, emo kid. And Gustang with his high water pants and glasses, a straight up nerd. They are kind of a match made in heaven in terms of friends in real life. So they're used to playing mind games and those type of things together. Peep this though. I mentioned a few reviews ago that, Gustang's 7 animals that he directly controls are based on the 7 deadly sins. And this also confirms that. Pride is the octopus, or the squid, or whatever you want to call it, but Pride is the octopus. And then we had El Gore, who is the slothful, but we don't have any confirmation on the other. So we can assume that Rapid is Wrath. We can assume that. We can probably call Leviathan Gluttony since he eats everything. But yeah, then we have Fandora's Heart and Cobalt, which you can kind of toss up whatever you want. We don't have enough information on them, whether they're greed or lust. But interesting. And I think it's also very cool that the octopus can read, and that he's been competing with Gustang since they were young, which is a kind of a cool concept, and it makes sense given that when Traum brought out the All Beast, Gustang spoke like he knew of basically their personalities are. It really goes to show how close they actually were, that Gustang knows all his animals personally. This last bit is quite alarming for me for Traum's side, though it makes sense. So Traum says he wants to go on living the way he has. After Gustang's explanation, I'm not okay with that. Because it's just like, your existence is kind of like not there, bro. Like, you kind of just exist as a power, but there's nothing really going on in your life. But for somebody like Traum, that makes sense, because he's always been kind of a sheltered being who doesn't care about much. I mean, he just kind of uses his power to get whatever he wants. But for somebody like Gustang, who cares about truth and knowledge, it might be different. But Traum goes on to say that he could break out of this maze library if he wanted to, but he's not. The whole key to this game is that you have to figure out and read the books that'll lead you out. Traum's gonna figure out what's eating up Gustang exactly, and what memories have made him kind of take this route. And that's really a friendly thing to do, and it goes to show that Gustang and Traum were actually probably really good friends. And probably rivals when it came to games and stuff, but actually really good friends, considering that he's really going to do this just to figure out what's going on. But he also goes to say that if it comes down to it, he'll kill him. And you guys thought this review was done? Nope. That was just the first half. So Bo Peter Hugo, bougie Hollywood girl with glasses? Kim K? I don't know. But not my type of character, not very interested, but she seems a little bit annoying, but she's confident, because when her vice captain comes up to talk about Robodon, one, this is up to Robodon's stock a ton, because apparently he's a goddamn legend, but she's not necessarily scared to face him. She even goes on to say to face him head on. Also, side note, Robodon's army is the strongest, which is shocking to me, because the way Uracha put it last chapter, it was kind of just like, with all these high rankers, we can body your whole army but you. But that speaks on Lobodon's strength, that Lobodon is probably disgustingly strong. But moving forward, we see that Yama and Uracha have arrived on the ship, and they're checking in as hotel guests. I guess that's been pre-set up by Lobopia. Fast forwarding, and we get to the library, and we come across a new character. Bopidu First Librarian High Ranker Giskar. Interesting design. The first thing I thought about when I saw him, I thought about Gustang. He looks a lot like Gustang. I want to assume this is another one of Gustang's children, but what is he doing there? Because with everything that's been revealed this chapter, I am very confused. Because it's just like, he's been put there recently, but that depends on how recent. Because if he's been ordered there, he's been ordered there by Belier, because Gustang hasn't been in the ship. Belier's the second in command, meaning that Belier could have sent him there. But for what option? For what reason? Is there something that's keeping Gustang from necessarily taking that book? Or is it something maybe like nobody from the Bobidu family can take or touch the book? Maybe they allow Yama or somebody from Lobopia to take the book purposely just so they can get it to give it to Gustang. That's just a thought. But I don't see the benefit in sending somebody there to defend it if that is the book that Gustang's looking for. But if it's not, who sent him there if not Belier? So there's a lot of different plot points here and a lot of confusion, and I'm not sure where to go with it. But that's the end of the chapter. Now for my predictions, I don't know, guys. I don't have shit right now. I am lost. Maybe the beginning of Robodon's attack, and we may see him and Hugo exchange words before the attack happens. It's shocking that we haven't had Bomb in a while, but the way that Siu's been writing lately, it's kind of like he's finishing up the side plots before we get back to the main objective. So maybe we still keep going with Yama and Uracha. Maybe we swing back to Kieran to see what progress he's making. There's also the fact that, I forget the Bobidu guy, but the one that was getting ready to run into Kieran's group, maybe we get to see what happened with that exchange. But other than that, that's all I got. This was a fantastic chapter, guys. It killed a lot of theories, but started a lot of new ones too. Here's the chapter rating, 10 out of 10. Siu has been absolutely on fire. In between this and One Piece, the writing has just been immaculate. Like, this is what peak fiction feels like. 2023 has been a legendary year. So, I'll see you guys on Wednesday or Thursday, but most likely Wednesday for my prediction and comment reading stream. And I'd love for you to join me. Till then, thanks guys. See you soon.